It's time for another FALK'D up day at FALK'D Up Garage.
Today's the day when this thing is going to start looking like a truck again. I got our nice freshly painted core sport. I'm about to put this thing back on there so we can get the radiator in and start making the radiator hoses we need. Yeah, so I'm going to lift this thing up. Try not to break my back because it's pure 1979 steel. So I'm going to lift that up by myself while attempting to put the bolts in and try not to break my back. So hopefully let's do that. Probably longer than I need, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'm probably not doing this the right way, but I don't know. Okay, so like all things, I got our core support back in, got the bushings pretty good. I mean, we'll probably tighten them up a little bit more once we get everything else on and all good. But we don't know where the bottom set of the radiator bushings are. So, I don't know. I might.
Whose responsibility would that have been?
It probably would have been mine. They were probably stuck to the bottom of the old radiator, and I just forgot to take them off. So it probably with the old radiator still in the garbage. So
who's been responsible for buying all those kind of parts?
Yeah, so I'm probably gonna have to order some. It is opposite day.
This is opposite because this is regular. So when you tighten them down, they compress the hose and do stuff, and I don't really know how it works.
Some smart science guy must have invented this.
Yeah. We're probably not doing it.
Probably not.
So I got my man glasses on. So the other thing you can do to make sure your hose is good is you take and put you a little mark right here behind where your fitting is. That way, if your hose pushes out during you putting this in, then it's not a good seal and it's gonna leak or bust. So that's always a good tip. Somebody taught me that once. So now I've taught all of y'all.
Okay, so I got our new Aeromotive fuel pressure regulator. I'm about to install that on the firewall. We have to install one of these on the Dominator because unlike the regular Sniper, it does not have a built-in one. So that's why I'm having to install one. So I'm going to install it somewhere right here on the firewall, and then we'll run our fuel line in and then over to the Dominator. And hopefully it'll work. It's always nice to remember to use your black Sharpie on a black firewall. to take our nice little nutsert tool and put a nutsert in it.
Or Amazon.
Yeah, Amazon. I was against this tool when we first bought it, but it turned out to be a pretty nice tool. And there you go. Perfectly nice and flush nutsert right there. It's pretty nice. Nice handy dandy angle finder that I used to make sure this was level before I drilled another hole. So that way we got a nice level. I don't know why we need it level, but it looks nice that way. I don't know. As y'all can see, that is a nice, perfect, level bracket to put our sending unit on. What's wrong now?
Everything. There's a little trickle over.
And there we have it. Nice regulator pump.
So as usual, we have made a mistake that has made our life much more difficult than it needed to be. We forgot to put the oil pressure sending unit on the engine before we put the headers on and the engine in and all that stuff. So there is a plug. I'm not sure you can even really see that, but I can feel it. I can't really even see it either. So anyway, we got to take that out, and then we got to hope the sending unit fits in there. So that's what I'm going to be doing for a little while.
So I got our fuel hoses right here. So back when the original 454 was in here and the original Sniper, I ran all new fuel injection hose because we were having problems with the surge pump and everything. So it's got a brand new EFI tank back there. So I ran all new lines. I had them all nice, perfectly done, looked perfect. But according with this motor, it doesn't run the same way. So this is AN6 lines. We were worried that we might have to go up to AN8, but we looked online and the Dominator said that it's good up to, AN6 is good up to 800 horsepower, so right under the cut line, so that's good. So these should work. So how I'm gonna run these is, I had them running on the frame rail right there and then up that way, but that's not gonna work anymore. So I'm just gonna run it up back behind the engine and up to the Sniper, well, up to the regulator and then the Sniper, and the return line goes right back. So I'm gonna get that ran. I got a fuel filter in here that we're taking out, so hopefully that'll give me enough line. I don't know. I'll probably just have to put some AN fittings connecting a new hose up to the regulator. I don't know. We got another fuel filter, but I'm probably gonna put that somewhere on the back of the frame. So yeah. I'm gonna get that done. Hopefully it goes smoothly. Not sure it will, but you can hope.
Did you know that Holley Dominators do not have a vacuum fitting on them? Nor do the intake manifolds made to work with them. So we need a vacuum for our vacuum modulator for our transmission, our fuel pressure regulator, and possibly our vacuum advance on our distributor. We still have to call Blueprint Engines to see if that needs to be hooked up or not. They had it blocked off from the dyno, so I have a feeling they don't want you to run it. But anyway, we need a vacuum fitting. So we're gonna raise our carburetor up even more with this 1/2-inch spacer and just pipe nipple fitting. So I'm gonna do my best to drill a hole directly in the center of this, tap it out and get this in it without breaking anything. If not, we're going to a 1-inch spacer. So it'll be really far out of the hood. But let's see how good I can do. So it kind of worked. However, now we have a little bump here where I did it. You know, maybe if we would have bought an aluminum spacer, that wouldn't have happened. Bought the plastic one to hopefully insulate everything some more, give us some more horsepower, like we need that. But obviously that's not gonna work. So I'm getting ready to totally fault this brand new nice intake manifold and engine up. So we've got everything sealed up so no shavings will get into the motor. We got a lot of tape in there, some rags. Jet's ready with the vacuum cleaner. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna drill us a hole right here and then run a tap through it for our fitting. So there you go. It's all falked up. It's in there. Now we can hook up our vacuum accessories.
Hopefully it does not void our warranty.
Yeah. Hopefully it doesn't fall out.
Okay, so here's our final fuel lines. They're all done. They all look pretty good. Fixed the problem that we had over here on this one. Got this one made. We got a nice little T right there. I did have to put some loom back there where it's on the head. I'm just worried it might rub over time and then you get a hole in your fuel system and then you got no fuel up here, which is not good.
Or you have a fire.
Or you could have a fire too, since the spark plugs and stuff are all right there too. So we don't want that either. So it's all good, should be all good. Yeah, so I still got to put the fuel filter in there somewhere on the frame. So I'm going to do that later. Right now, I got to put this side fender and inner fender on so he can finish the wiring and like start doing the wiring over here. But of course our battery goes right here. So I got to put that in so we can actually get stuff ran where they need to be. So I was putting the fender and the inner fender on, but I did run into some problems, like everything. So as you can see right here, the bolt hole is that hole right there. Well, I don't know if you can see that. We need a light. Of course the light's dead. Anyway, there's a bolt hole right there. Well, the nutsert thing that it has to go into is all the way over here. So what I'm gonna have to do is cut the inner fender right there, and then hopefully this will go in like it's supposed to, or the inner fender will come out. I'm not sure which way they need to go, but anyway, I gotta cut that. Oh yeah, so it's a big day, a big accomplishment. We got the front end back on. So this is the first time this truck has had a front end in about maybe a year now, maybe. It's been a while since I've seen it have a front end. So it's very exciting. it is kind of funny because I replaced all the front suspension and everything, and that fender gap was not as big as it is now. So I guess with the suspension and everything, the refreshed suspension, it brought it up a little bit. So I don't know. Used to have more of like a drag car stance, like it was all low in the front. It looked kind of cool. And now it sort of has like a 4x4 look. So I don't know. It is what it is. We don't have time to fix it. So we got a whole bunch of wiring going on. A wiring mess everywhere on the workbench, everything. Got the battery tray back in. We didn't have time to repaint that. We're on a deadline, so we didn't have time to repaint it. It was already painted before. I remember I repainted it, but it has a little rust, but no one will see that once the battery's on it. So I think what I'm gonna do now is I still got the fuel filter to put in. So I think I'm gonna do that while he's working on this wiring mess. You know, you don't really think about how much wiring actually goes into one of these things. You're like, oh yeah, a 79 Suburban. That thing has gotta have like 3 wires to make it run. Well, no, you forget about headlights and all that crap. That doesn't really have to do with the engine, even though we put a sniper on it. We still got extra wires anyway. But yeah, we got a lot of wires to run. A lot more than I thought we did. But yeah, we got to do that. Yeah, we got to do that. I'm gonna start getting some other stuff marked off the list. Hopefully get the fuel lines done so I can mark that off, get the filter in there. So I think that's what I'm gonna do now. I might clean up a little bit right now before I start that. But yeah, that's the quick update. Okay, so I got these relays. I got 3 of them. So I'm going to mount them somewhere right here on the fender, so that way he can go ahead and wire it all up and get it all pretty looking and everything. And I got these ones for the sniper that I got to mount over here. And what's going on with the wiring? He said that it's just gonna be magically done. Like all of a sudden it's gonna be like this big mess as you see today, right this second. But in like 5 hours, all of a sudden it's gonna be like perfect. I might see that happening, but I'm not 100% sure. So time will tell. Now it's funny how when you buy a nice motor for your truck, how like your whole build idea changes. Like you buy a nice motor and you think everything else needs to be just as nice. Okay, so here we have all our nice relays and fuses things mounted. They look pretty good. These ones I could have made a little straighter probably, but they're close enough. It's been a week now since the last time you've seen the truck. It's been over in the body shop because we've had other stuff that we've been doing, running around doing stuff. So it's been in the body shop for a week, so it's had a lot done. We have a lot of body work done, a lot of body work is getting done. So Mark, our body guy, has figured out this quarter has been replaced before. So that's the problem because nothing really lined up like it should have been. So he did his magic and got that all looking better. It should look pretty good. So I'm happy with that. So we've had all these little spots that, I don't know, someone sprayed the rust crap stuff in it. So we've got those all repaired, all welded up good. I've been here all day sanding the doors, jambs, getting those ready for primer. The roof's pretty much sanded. I think I still got half of it to do, but it's pretty good sanded. We got all that done. It's looking pretty good. It's Friday now. I think we're gonna come up here tomorrow, work on the engine a little bit, but by Monday, should be ready for primer. So it's looking pretty good.